Hi guys, this flight inventory management system that I developed earlier using database and just using this navigator control here to take care of all the navigations in here. So what I'll do now is to take you guys straight into Visual Basic development environment, and you see how I put this together. So let's do that now. In this section of Visual Basic 2015, I'm going to be developing an inventory management system. So let's have a look at what we're going to be doing. The first thing is we need to create new projects, and right there make sure Visual Basic is selected. Select Windows Forms application, and let's give our product a name. So I'm going to call that VB_flights flight_inventory. Now save that. Okay, while that is loading up, this inventory system will require the use of access database. So I'm going to create me an access database. So click on the blank one there, and let's give this product a name. I'm going to call that flight as well, and let's click on save. Oh great, there. Okay, the next thing I want to do, since the database is ready, is to go to external data. So I'm going to have to import some text files. So let's go to browse, and those text files, I think I have the flight one on my desktop here. That is it. And now we import that on the airport. Okay, and then click on OK. So that's, let's select the limited. Click on next and select this first row, make that my title, and click on next. I'm going to click on next and decline on primary key, no primary key. Click on that, and that's going to be the name, airports there, and click on close. Right there I have my table there. There we go, that's my airport table. If you're wondering what I've just done, where I get this data from, I have all my data files in here. There they are. That's for the crew. The next one that I'm going to be importing into Access, that's the one I just imported right now. You can always make one of these up yourself. So I'm going to close that and just minimize it. Let's import the next one. Come in here to where it says text file. Let's import another one. Browse. And the next one I'm going to be importing is the crew list. Okay, click on OK, and here the limited is fine. Click on next, and right here I intend to select that as my row. Okay, click on next again, no primary key. I don't have any use for that, and that's the name of the file, crew list, and click on finish, and there. So I have my crew list there. That's my crew list. So what I will do now is to speed up the other importation of the data. Then we can go into Visual Basic. So let's speed that up now. Okay guys, I have all my tables in place. There they are. If you don't have raw data like I've used, you can always just make up your own database, and that will be the end of my database. So I'm going to close that. So close the database. Yes, save. All is saved. Now let's go straight into project. Add data. Okay, I've selected. Let me close that, and you see it again. That's it right there. Add new data source. Okay, let's click on next again, and there we need to now select new connection and make sure it's Access database we're working on. Select browse, and right on the desktop there goes my flight database. Select and click on OK, and you can always test it out to be sure that your system is working as expected. That's fine. Okay, I got rid of the username and no password required. Click on OK, and there we go. Click on next. That's the database here. Let's click on next, and this is just to confirm that you intend to save the database file into the project file. Click on yes and click on next. That is your table right there. Okay, those are the table I intend to use. In total I have 7 of those, I believe. Yes, there are 7. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm going to select that. Let's click on the table, click on finish, and that's the database ready. So let's click on the data source here. There we go. If you don't have your data source in position, you can always go to view and look for other windows, because sometimes you might not see the data source. Just come right here. That is it right there, the data source. Okay, that's my data source there. The next thing I want to do now is define the size of this window. Let's come here and change the size of the window to approximately 1368 by 689, or maybe let's go for 700 right there. Okay, so if you like, you can always enter, let me just add a title. Let's say flight inventory systems, or yeah, management system, let's call it that, management system. There, I'm going to change the font. Let's change the font to something readable, make that bold, and let's go maybe 30. Okay, somewhere there, but maybe a little bit more, maybe 48. All right, that's fine. I'll leave it there. Okay, now let's go for GroupBox. I'm going to need some of those. Get some GroupBox on board. So I'm going to need a couple of those. Maybe about 7 of those. Or maybe 3. I don't know. Another one there. Let's see. Yeah, for now that's how that looks. Now the first thing I want to do is, let's come into the data source here, and right here where I have my airport, I'm going to select details right there, or maybe let's go for this crew rotor first. That's a crew rotor, so drop that down, select details, and just drag the crew rotor straight on board here. That is the crew rotor on board. Oh no, I think that's the airport. Let's go back. That's the airport. Crew rotor now. Let's drag the crew rotor and just put that in here. There we go. We have our crew rotor on board. I think that's a little bit too dark, so let's change the font. Let's change the font color to white. Font, or maybe control light. There we go, guys. And the same thing applies to the airports, the various airports we're going to. Now let's come in here and grab this. Let's see, put that in there. No, we don't want that. Undo. I want the details on board. Change that to details. Drag and drop. Okay, maybe this should join the crew rotor, the airport details I mean. Now go back in here. Let's see the time, departure time. Let's see that way. Okay, that's the departure time in there. Now we have 4 of those. Grab the other one. This is to do with the flight. Okay, maybe extend this a little bit more. Alright, let's come in here. Flight. Let's put a flight here. Undo that. Change that to details as well. Okay, paste. Alright, we have the flights as well. Now we only have 2 more to go. Change that, drag this, put it in here. Okay, and 1 more here. Change this to details, drag and drop. There. Now let's run it and you guys will see what I'm talking about. Now this is how it looks for now. All we need to do now is to do some tidying up. Okay, it's just going to be a flight information inventory management system whereby the pilot have a look at the whatever information they want. Like here we have the crew information, you can see pilots in there, and here we have the date and so on, and destination right here. So all I just need now is to tidy it up so that it looks presentable. So let's come in, go back into the program right there. So the most important part of it is for you just to make sure you complete your database, and all the other stuff is about importation and so on, uploading the information straight onto Visual Basic. Then we will then write 1 or 2 lines of code for navigation. Now I'm selecting all of those other components so that I can change the color to visible, something you can read. Alright, they are all white, I believe. Yeah. Okay, this is how it's looking, and I think maybe we should carry out some modification before we continue. Alright, so what I intend to do is maybe swap this around. This will be the crew details. Okay, we have the ID, name and so on, date of birth, name, it is all here. And this will be that'll be the airplane details, and that's the flight details. So let's move it around. Move this here somewhere in there, and let's move this here and bring this to the middle, or center this one there. Okay, take this down a little bit more. Right, and let's move this in. Okay, right. Now let's deal with the navigation. If I run this program now, and right there, this is how it all looks. Now look at the navigation. If I click on this, the only bit that we have navigation on is just about the airport code, city and country. As you can see, the rest, there's no navigation taking place in there. That's no problem. So what I will do is right underneath here, let me show you all of the object of the database. Let's move this up. So I need the following: airport binding. The airport binding, if I double click on this, is the only one that we have in there. Airport binding source. As you can see, the whole system is based on airport binding source. So for us to make that happen, so what we need to do is get the binding source of the other tables. So I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. There they are. So I'm going to copy all of their names and bind them together. So let's start by copying the name of the crew. Let's come to the properties right there. That's the crew details. I'm just going to copy that, come right in here, paste the crew details right in here, there. Okay, so dot move next. Right, so that's for the crew details. I'm going to repeat the same thing for the crew list. That's crew list. Now this is crew rotor. That's for the crew rotor. Now go back in there, paste the crew rotor there. We have the crew rotor there. Just want to copy this, paste it there. Now let's go back. We have departure time and so on. Copy that, paste it there. We have number 3. Let me copy the other ones. We have flight, the first flight, copy. That's 4, 5, 2 more. Then we have the second flight, copy that, paste it in there. Then finally we have the time zone and so on, copy that and come right in here, paste that in there. So I'll now copy the direction of navigation and just paste it there, move next and so on. That's the method for navigation. So run the program and let's see. So if I click on this now, you can see there's navigation. Okay, we are moving all of the datas and this is now working. Move last, move previous, and move first is not working. So all I need to do is I'm going to copy everything we have in there. So let's come in here. If I double click on move last, the only object moving last, the only table moving last is this. So I just copy all of these, copy that, repeat it again, try it again, and paste it right underneath here. That's for move last. So I can just say dot move last. Okay, just copy the direction of movements, just copy last and just paste it in here. And that take care of move last. Okay, copy all of that. Let's use that for move previous, or double click on move previous, paste that in there and change that to move previous, not move previous. There, copy, change it around. Okay, now let's take care of move first. I believe double click on that. Yeah, that's move first. Copy all of this, paste it right underneath move first, and get the method move first out. There we go, and copy and paste. Okay, there. So if I run it now, we will be able to control all of this data by navigating through. Let's move last and previous. You see that, guys? Okay, the whole system is to do with flight details. Okay, now the next thing we want to do, we now need to maybe add some buttons here. Okay, like if we click on these, now we should be able to delete something in here. Okay, you see we've deleted that, and we can always add in here, but we cannot add to the other ones. So what we need to do now is come in here, double click on this add, and right there you can see add items there. So I'm going to copy all of this so that we can repeat exactly the same thing for the rest tables. Dot add, maybe add new, right? Okay, that takes care of the add new. So I'm going to copy all of these. Let's use that for the delete item. I'll come back in here, double click on this delete. There you can see delete item, paste that in there, and just select this and say dot. I think it's got to do with, let's say delete. Do we have that, or is it remove? Let's say remove dot. No, undo that. Let's look for the method. Okay, that'll be remove. There we go. I think it's remove current. Let's see, remove current item, or just remove. Okay, let's use that anyway, and we try it out. If it doesn't work, we just we look for the right method anyway. All right, that is that. Now let's come in here. Now what else do we need to take care of? Okay guys, I'm not gonna do anything with the save part of it because we don't have the other object here, so I'll just leave that alone. I guess it's still running. Let's just move that up a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. So come into tools, there's some buttons there. Yeah, and maybe another one there. So I'm just gonna have just 2 buttons for exit, and yeah, that would be for exit. Okay, double click on the exit and just enter. Let's dim as dialog result. Then we can say I equals message box dot show, and let's just enter a statement in there. Confirm if you want to exit. Alright, now come in here, comma, and let's give that a name. We call that flight, and comma, message box button dot yes no, comma, message box icon. Okay, let's go for icon question mark dot question. So that is it. So in this case, if I equals dialog dot results dot yes, then we want the application to exit. Okay, dot exit. All right, there. So that would be our exit lines of codes there. And this other one, let's come in here, maybe we just call that delete. I'm going to copy everything in here. That will be my delete anyway, just like a reset button. So bring that down, double click on this, paste that in there, and we call that maybe reset there. So let's come in here. This is supposed to be for, I think that would be crew details. We have the crew details in there. Let's change the font color to control light as well, and this is flights Yeah, I think that's flight details. Flight details, and here this is if that's flight details, this should be for maybe, let's just make that up, traveling details there, and change about the font color. Oh no, that's wrong. This is supposed to be, let's undo that. Yeah, and this will be flight details or traveling details. Yeah, change that to control light, and this as well, change it to control light. There, move this up a little bit. Let's move everything up a little bit, and that should do it. So if I click on control on start and run, and right there guys, this is how the flight inventory management system looks now. So we can always navigate as we want, or we can just reset everything, or click on delete here, okay, or add new, right? So there, exit, no, exit, yes, and run it again so that you guys can see it. That's just using the Access database to generate all of the content that is required. So with that guys, I'm going to leave you with this beautiful interface. I'm going to call it bye for now.